Here to Little Rumble here at Lanes Raceway this Sunday, August the 20th, 2023. If you tuned in a little bit earlier, you would notice that Lucky Weston was able to grab him a car. But you can see all our racers out there ready to go. So here we go. All right, racers, watch your lights. And here we go. 8 glorious heats for these Little Rumblers. Of course, we do have a couple of laps to post up from Thursday, but we are current as of, I believe, August the 16th. So we got this week and next week, ladies and gentlemen, and that's it. So definitely, if you are one of those planning on receiving reward and stuff for your hard work during these 3 series that we've had, Little Rumble, Rookie Rumble, and LMP Thunder, definitely come in next week. We're going to have a little bit of a banquet, and going to be giving away some stuff. Of course, our pro racers that on the LMP Thunder get a little bit extra, but they paid quite a bit more to get involved in their series, and we do thank them for that. They're the reason why the lights are still burning here at Lanes Raceway. And if you guys didn't know, it is series that is the reason that we keep the lights on here. So if you like what you see here, you like running slot car racing, competitive style running, and even want to get involved, definitely check out one of our rookie series coming up, which will be the GRC series coming up in October. If you're not new to the game and you know a little bit about slot car racing, definitely check out maybe one of our locked races, intermediate classes, like the new dirt late model series coming up here at Lanes Raceway. Or maybe the IndyCar. You might like it too. It's going to be a little bit tougher though. IndyCar is more of a pro class there, especially on the orange track. You got to get your car set just perfect. But definitely check one of those out there. It helps us. It helps you get a little bit of a payout there towards the end. Last word I seen, I believe that the bare minimum is going to be a $5,000 purse payout for the series. So definitely come check that out. Line your pockets there a little bit during the cold months when you can't race on real asphalt or real dirt. And come spend some time with us here. Of course, we always love a good competitive nature, and we're always watching something on TV that's revolving around around racing. After that first heat, though, we can see that Carson out in the lead, 51 laps, followed by Weston with 51 laps, Amani with 50, and Jackson with 47. All these guys pretty close together, as we can see Amani and Jackson there up on the upper lanes, not able to turn as many laps as they normally would. But here's the current standings here at Lanes Raceway. Take a look at those. Be right back with you when our racers are ready. All right, folks, about 5 seconds left to go before we go back green racing. Jackson there and taking advantage of the short time the track was on there. Monty getting his car set up there on red lane. Somebody's gear there sounds a little stripped there on blue. That'd be Carson's. Might be bringing that in here to take a look at it. Somebody might be, but that is definitely not good the way that it sounds. So we'll see. Somebody might be stripping a gear here, folks. Yeah, that's a gear stripped or something. If it wasn't stripped, it probably is now for sure. Looks like that might be Nathaniel there. Gonna take a look at the car there. Well, that Carson's gonna take a look at it and see what's going on. That's what the rookie class is about, folks. Definitely working on each other's cars and stuff, trying to get their stuff rolling the best that they can. Looks like Nathaniel's going to take it over there and work on it anyhow. Back to racing. Looks like they got the car fixed. Dana there quickly getting Carson put back on blue. Looks like Weston in the lead now, followed by Monty there with 65 laps. Jackson there on green lane with 64 laps. Fast car out there right now looks to be Carson. See sliding there on the inside. Car's coming off. And a little change. Amani in second place. Weston now in third. Jackson narrowly missing a wreck there on the inside there as we see Weston coming off yet again. Past the crook of the track. Eddie Burden there getting that car put back on. Got an exciting day here for you here at Lanes Raceway. LMP Thunder race coming up here around 5:30. We're going to start seeing some of those racers trickle on in. A warm, hot day here at Lanes Raceway, too. Like I said, we got 2 more races left to go. This one and 1 more, folks. And then we're, of course, going to roll right into the banquet come next week. And, of course, some prizes there to be given out. And, you know, some appreciation to our racers. I'm really excited. I always enjoy having our little banquets there and being able to reward the racers for their hard work. So, you know, it's going to be pretty busy, I'm sure, the next Thursday and Sunday here, as everybody's just going to try to get everything that they possibly can get. See 95, 96, 98, 102. Carson out in the lead after that heat. And pretty close racing so far. We'll see how things shape up as we continue on in these races. But nonetheless, like I said, pretty exciting. Fly flies are killing me in here. Those flies are finding their way through the door every chance they get. But pretty exciting to see. You know, we can kind of tell here, LMP Thunder Series, like I said, coming up next there. Paul Woosley, our current leader in it. Jackson right now still the leader in LMP Thunder by 3 laps to Carson. So, you know, this today could be the day that might switch, unless Jackson can do something about keeping his car on. Very, very close racing. Jackson and Jay, they're neck and neck with each other in the Rookie Rumble. But nonetheless, that's your current standings here right now as of August the 15th. Of course, after this race, that'll all change. But the excitement is still pretty cool. Like I said, I showed you a little picture of what kind of our logo is going to be for the Dirt Late Model Series. We do have others also. Let's see. I kind of worked on them a little bit yesterday. Now, of course, like I said, they can all be changed except for this one I'm fixing to show you. This one right here, of course, being the Fairview IT Cup Management, or Fairview IT Management Cup Series. This one's already been purchased, so you cannot have the NASCAR series. It was purchased last year, and of course they decided to repurchase this year. But like I said, the Dirt Late model, let me see, might find another one here too. Here's another one. We have an IndyCar series. Of course, our cars are JK Indy cars, and we got an IndyCar Pro Series here. For people, we can change that to whatever IndyCar series that you want to. Of course, IndyCar being we're going to race on the oval and the GP style tracks, so that's another one there. And then our last one here, other than the GRC's up too, but I haven't made an image file yet for that. Now, of course, these are the smaller version of the image files, but then we have another pro class here, the Wing Car Series here. You see the orange track there in the background as a part of the emblem there with the checkered flags, a little wing car here. Anyways, I think it's a pretty cool little emblem and stuff. Of course, all this stuff can be superimposed. It's a vector file, so we can get rid of the white and stuff and, you know, put it up wherever we would like to. But it doesn't have to say Wing Car Series on it. It could be whatever series that you want it to be. Like I said, all sponsorships go to our racers in that specific series, so they would definitely greatly appreciate if you sponsored one of their series. If you didn't want to make such a big investment, or write-off for that matter, you could do individual races. So individual races are $100 a race to sponsor, and the same thing goes. For one race, we will have something set up for you to advertise your business or yourself, whatever you want to do. And it'll be for one race weekend. So it's really up to you. The better deal, of course, is just to outright sponsor the full series. Of course, we didn't offer that for the summer series. It's Little Rumble from Lanes Raceway, Rookie Rumble from Lanes Raceway, and LMP Thunder from Lanes Raceway. We like to just make it available for sponsorships about once a year. That way everybody can get their write-offs and stuff if they need write-offs. So we make that available. Come on in here, sponsor these guys, get your name on here on some of these live streams, have a good time. And, I'm going to be pushing that until we get all these slots filled. I don't think it'll be long, so you definitely want to jump in on that when you can. Like I said, we filled them up really quick this fall. So if you're one of the sponsored us last fall, give us a call. We'll definitely put you up to the front of the line since you've already sponsored before. You already know how things go. So definitely give us a shout and help our racers out. That way they can get prepared. See Tom Payton here to the left of me. He's already on his LMP Thunder car. He's getting ready to go a little bit later on this evening, about 5:30 in the LMP Thunder Series. He's got, I believe, to hold off Glenn Burden for another couple races. We'll see how that works out. Right now, Carson in the lead, 144 laps, running a very good race. Amani there with 138, Jackson with 137, and Weston with 133. Pretty close racing here, folks. Carson keeping his car on, and what a car he's got here today. Very, very fast. You see Carson there down on purple lane, the lower of the lanes. A nice coast there by Jackson. Of course, Jackson with a fresh motor might still be breaking those brushes in a little bit, but I'm sure his motor will start picking up, and it looks like it already is. As we can see, 47 laps there is first heat on red, and on green he done 49, which is a couple laps down from others, but now on blue lane doing 53 laps. That's 2 laps ahead of Carson there, our current leader. But Carson turning 57 laps there on purple, going to be tough to beat. Jackson really going to have to focus in and try to increase that gap. Now, Amani here running in the upper 50s and 48s, of course, not in this series. He's just running with the guys, and we appreciate him, like I said earlier, helping these kiddos out, getting moved up into the series. It's going to be pretty exciting to see a couple of these kids running neck and neck with some of the adults. I'm going to leave you guys here with the current standings. We'll be right back with you whenever the guys are ready. All right, back racing. Sorry about that. A little late to the draw there. A couple cars coming off. It looks like Dana Durham going to get them put back on, and Nathaniel up there helping track marshal a little bit. Somebody has looks to be a sticker out of place. Oh, excuse me. Four red lights, of course, drop out to a green. We'll go racing. As we can see here, just from the first couple of races, or first couple of laps here, Amani there with a 2.23 median. Carson with the 2.06, our fastest right now. 2.18 of Jackson, second fastest, as they're both there neck and neck with each other. Kind of focus in on those two as we can see that they're going to be able to turn some of the faster laps there, 12 and 13 respectively. Weston up there on green, doing pretty well for himself. But it's really just going to boil down to, can you keep your car on? As like Nathaniel's hand got looked to be Jackson's car there, trying to get a car put back on. It's a long reach, folks. Believe it or not, that's quite a big reach to get a car put back on purple or black. But Carson, he's on a mission, folks. He has realized that he is in fighting distance for first place here. And he's got this race and one more to make. Jackson, of course, has held the lead the whole series, but here towards the end, some of the makeup races and stuff like that, it's going to boil down to constitution for sure. Who can keep their car on? We'll see Jackson starting to reel in Amani a little bit there on blue, as him and Carson both get involved in an incident. There on blue, Amani running a nice smooth lane there in his Batmobile truck. And another 3 cars off as we get a track call there. Jackson, the only one to escape that. Full J. Call that 3/4 J, won't we, Tom? 3/4 J. Dead Man's Corner living up to its name today, as we can tell. 2 laps separate the difference between Amani and Jackson. Carson's car really flying there today, folks. So we get the end of round robin 4 of 8. We're halfway through, folks. And we can see right now, averagely speaking, about 2.2 laps ahead on average is Carson from Amani, and almost 3 laps ahead on average of Jackson. Of course, Weston there down towards the bottom having quite a few wrecks here. Not this last heat, but the heat before, quite a few. But we can see Jackson there running only 52 laps on purple, needing to run just a little bit harder to stay up with Carson. Carson really flooring it there on purple, 57 total laps. But if he can somehow pull it off here towards the end, maybe the motors heat up and stuff, we might see a little change respectfully here. But Amani and Jackson pretty much running very, very close to each other. 53, 53, 49, 52, 48, 47. These guys are exchanging back and forth death blows pretty much. But I'll leave you guys here with the current standings. Be right back with you. All right, folks, 10 seconds before we go green. We're a little over halfway here in the Little Rumble here at Lanes Raceway, August the 20th. And so far, man, Weston, what a showing. Coming in here, playing the game serious, holding his head down, just running a ridiculously good race here. His car definitely in good shape. They was working on it. Him and Jackson were working on it before the race started. Both of them just really running hard. So we'll see if things change as we see Carson moving on up to the field. And now we see Jackson down low for the remainder of this race. Maybe a little trash talk possibly. I don't know, but between these two very stark competitors here as of late. Carson's been holding his own, figuring out how to run this slot car a little bit better. Within 3 laps to the lead of Action Jackson is Carson, coming all the way back from having a rough start in the series to now he is one of the front runners. And it's looking like here he's about 10 laps ahead of Jackson currently. And like I said, we'll see if he can make those 10 laps up in the next 3 heats. He's going to have to do something if he wants to fight off Carson for that lead spot. Right now, best lap times 2.087 of Carson. Jackson 2.075. Medians would say otherwise. 211 Amani and Carson. Now 212 of Jackson and Carson. Weston there with his new body ran successfully well last weekend. Having a little bit of trouble this weekend for some reason or other. Maybe a car picking up a little bit of speed or something. But you do know that this track all season long has been cut down a couple boats for these kiddos. Now, when we move on up into the fall series, these tracks will be turned back up a couple boats as to negate us having a rookie series technically. So everything will be back on its usual voltage, 14 volts, I think, 12, 13, 14 volts, something like that. Anyways, we'll get that turned back up. And then, of course, these cars will go faster. You know, right now they're barely making 2-second lap times down low, a little lower than 2 seconds every once in a while. But they will shortly be able to turn lap times of about 1.7 on the regular with these stomp cars. Especially when we move into the short wheelbase 4-inch super late models and stuff like that. Definitely going to be a different case too, as those cars are going to be a little bit more swapped back and forth, a little bit more radical. They might actually handle just a smidge better, but we'll have to wait and see. Amani there, 259 in second place, 258 to Jackson. We'll go over here, take a look. We see those averages increasing a little bit now. 51.8, 51.6 of Amani and Jackson there. Weston there with 48. Probably most likely out of the running for this race here unless some very, very bad things happen for everybody else. But the focus here on the top 3 here, there's still some chance for some swap to take place as we see Carson moving towards the top. Both Amani and Jackson towards the bottom a little bit there. Of course, Jackson going to finish his race there on White Lane, and that's going to be pretty rough for him. And Carson finished on White. The battle here, though, like I said, Amani probably going to start picking up quite a bit here as he moves down low. We're going to see that here directly. Plus, Amani turned 56 there on Purple Lane, right there with Carson. 57 total laps turned by Jackson there on Black Lane. He really does like the Black Lane, but that separates him 1 lap difference from him and Carson between the purple and black lanes. Minute and 40 seconds left to go. We're going to leave you with the current standings as of August the 15th here at Lanes Raceway. I'll be right back with you when the racers are ready. All right, folks, if you think you got a good wife, well, look at mine. She's fanning me over here. That's a good wife, let me tell you. She's going to head back out there and do a little bit of track marshaling. 2 seconds left to go. And if you were wondering if it was hot in here, yes, this refrigerator behind me will roast you to death. And it being 95 degrees outside, it's quite warm in here. We don't have any vents or nothing. Going by green racing, we see 3 cars down low, black, purple, and yellow. That is Weston, Jackson, and Amani. As we see a little bit of a love touch there off of yellow, going ahead and scooting Weston on off there in Dead Man's Corner. Nonetheless, he's still rolling. We can see Jackson there, 268. Is trying his best to hold these laps in. Everybody doing a good job keeping their cars on tonight. And as we can see here, Carson driving it just a little bit deeper than what we can see Jackson doing. And then, of course, Jackson blipping there a little bit, letting Weston go on by. Down low, though, there on black, Amani, he's running like he's fixing to take his baby home. And if he continues to do so, he will. As he sends a car to the outside, causing 2 cars to come off. This gives the a little bit of an advantage there for Jackson to gain a couple laps there. And Carson comes on off. Carson holding the lead by 2 laps. We see Amani coming down on the inside again up on Weston. They both drive each other nice and clean through Dead Man's Corners. They both kind of stop a little bit. But a nice clean pass made. Amani making moves here. 1 lap separating now between him and Carson. He goes to try to make the pass here. 33 seconds left to go. Amani at 304, Carson 305, Jackson 299, and Weston 282. Amani's truck running exceptionally down on black. Probably going to see a little bit of a record broke here on black. So we see Amani now take over first place from Carson with 314 laps. And a red flag rotation. Amani's going to take that one home. 317 laps on that heat. And we can see that Amani turned 58. One other racer, Weston, left to go to see if he can break that 58 record there on black. That is currently the highest laps turned this heat, or this race. So Amani holding the most laps this race at 58, followed by Jackson and Carson with 57. 2 more heats left to go. Going to leave you guys yet again with the current standings. Be right back with you. All right, 4 red lights going to drop out to a green. Whew, what a hot one here at Lanes Raceway, folks. Look at my hair. Well, it's this side. Time for a haircut, it looks to be. So we see a minute and 59 seconds on the clock. Something must have went up again before we started the race here. As now they hit the button again, and here we go. Like I said, it'll be a close call here between first, second, and third here. $322 to $321. Carson Jackson $316 there in third place. Weston with $299. Two laps difference right now. Monty's car really flying. Of course, Carson there up on the high side. He's going to need to make up about 4 laps to be able to catch Carson. It's going to be pretty tough to do. We got this heat and 1 more left to go. Weston coming off down there on black lanes. He gets put back in by Dana Durham. All these guys rushing pretty hard here. And like I said, as we've seen from the beginning of this series till now, these guys are keeping their cars on very, very well as we progress through this series. Of course, Amani opting to put a little bit of glue on his tires. I think it's really much helping his car versus some of the other guys there not using glue. We can see him kind of gripping a little bit better, kind of keeping his pace and distance a little bit from Weston there off a yellow lane. Amani just biding his time. Up top, though, as he dive bomb down low, he passes both Jackson and Carson up high, as both of these guys are running neck and neck here off of orange and white, Carson and Jackson. Carson and Jackson there just not giving either one of each other an inch. Jackson's car down low, suffering from a little bit of a power issue there. Could be just like I said, from the brush that's not yet wore in good enough. But nonetheless, he's running about a lane and a half different from Carson. So he should be a little bit faster, should be actually gaining on Carson a little bit. We can see he is just barely gaining now. But the big gainer here right now is, of course, Amani. He is flooring at home, folks. 1 second left to go, and we're going to see the end of this heat. 373 of Amani Baxter, as we can see here. Wasn't able to break his 58 record there on black, but 56 there on yellow. 1 heat left to go will be on orange. Carson will be on red. Jackson there will be on white, and Weston will be on yellow to round this baby up. Way it's looking right now, Jackson's probably going to take over the lead here, as he's got 6 laps up on Jackson. Jackson's definitely going to need Carson to have some wrecks or something to be able to capitalize on that, because most likely, haven't looked at the stats or nothing right here, but if he holds that kind of lead, he's going to replace another race and be able to take over that lead. But really, it's just the way it is, folks, in these series. They flip-flop all the time depending on how well people progress. We've seen it with the L&P Thunder Series midway through. Randy Kirtley was holding it all the way down for the very beginning. And then about midway through, we start seeing Paul Woosley just come out of nowhere, left field, and just started just bringing home wins after wins. And now we see Paul Woosley in the lead. So anything's possible in these last 2 races, and usually when it boils down to the wire, people push a little bit harder. So minute and 30 seconds left to go. Leave you with the current standings. Be right back with you. 8 seconds left to go before we go back green. We see Jackson getting himself lined up there next to his arch rival there, Carson. Weston down low yet again, and here comes Amani. Smooth walking right through there. Almost floating, it looked like. There in his Batmobile on orange. So Amani right now, his truck running really, really good. Probably in its prime. As it looks like his braids and brushes definitely wore in nice and tight. See that neck and neck battle between Carson and Jackson. Jackson straight giving the boot hammer to Carson. I hate to say it, but that's the kind of rough racing that's going to need to be done if he plans on trying to catch Carson. Really, Carson, all he's got to do is just keep his car on. Pretty much he could take a hit like that every few laps and still be okay. It's going to be tough for Jackson to be able to capitalize and move up on Carson here now this late in the game. As we see Carson now coming back up against Jackson yet again, will Jackson give the boot to Carson here on the red lane? Most likely, I'm just going to tell you, folks, he probably will, as he's trying to stave off any advantage he possibly can against Carson. But what he really needs is he needs Carson to wreck on his own, as he does give the boot yet again to Carson. Carson actually lost a lap that time, but not something that really Carson needs to happen. Now, when he comes back, he's going to be a lap down from Jackson. Jackson probably will give the boot yet again here, 47 seconds. As we see Carson now getting a little bit smart there, letting loose, not allowing that to happen, playing more of a professional style racing here. Carson just needs to not try to pass Jackson. As he brake checks Jackson, Jackson sends it all the way to the building. This costing Jackson several bits. When you play rough and you try to be the bull the whole time, sometimes you get the horns. And what a move by Carson, as he just made Jackson play itself. So Jackson trying to be a little bit rough there, cost him there in the end, as we see Jackson now kind of lifting off, waiting on Carson to see if he's just going to give him the boot. Carson wise enough to hold back, knowing that he's got the lead, no reason to lose this race over Jackson trying to be super aggressive. And it paid off for Carson, as we see Carson take the win there almost by double, 6 or 7 laps there. Jackson definitely not pleased with coming in second. Amani Baxter there, 425, takes home the win, but not in this series. He's just there having fun, and we do appreciate him giving a car away earlier today to these little rumblers. And hopefully they'll move on up into that intermediate class. Carson with 413, our actual winner, followed by Jackson with 406 and Weston with 398. I'm going to get a picture with these racers here shortly and be right back with you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the Little Rumble. As you can tell, what a race it was. Looks like Jackson probably going to step down to second position in the Little Rumble coming into the last race. We'll see if he can come back next week and hold it off for the banquet. It's going to be very interesting. Definitely stay tuned for next week's final race here for the Little Rumble. Coming up at 5:30, we're going to have the L&P Thunder Series race. But that's it for us here at Lanes Raceway. Thank you for stopping by. See you around 5:30. God bless you.